Welcome to the Once Upon a Sunday Fantasy Football Podcast with your hosts, Josh Kimmel, Dave Campbell, and Justin Bowerly.
Welcome to another fantasy edition, OUS edition of the OUS Showdown, where we take two players that you may have on your roster and we debate and we tell you who to start, who not to start, who should be in your lineup, and who should be on the outside of your lineup. We have some compelling arguments today. We have some great players to discuss. It is going into the playoff season, so these are very crucial start sits. You know what I like? Oh, Justin's not even here yet. So let me bring in Justin and let me tell him what I like. Which I just noticed yesterday for the first time in my life. So Justin, come on in here. Sleeper has this thing now. Maybe it's been there for years. Maybe it has not. Where it tells you at the top of your matchup, the manager's accuracy rating of their starting lineups. Have you seen this?
No,
so
I haven't.
Go to a random matchup anywhere. I don't have my phone on me. My phone is in the other room.
Oh, do I have to do it on my phone or can I do it on the desktop?
I don't know. I do not know. But my phone is in a different room. But I did notice it that once I went into my matchup today, it showed me like an 88% accuracy. I'm like, what is this? So I went to my other leagues. I'm like 91%. It's pretty legit. I had no idea it happened. Must be an update new to me. But that's the one good thing Sleeper's done in the past couple of years.
Is like in the matchup itself or is it
in the matchup itself? If I had my phone on me. Oh, I do have my phone. Heck yeah, let's go. All right. So I'm on my phone, my trusty dusty phone, and I'm going to the Sleeper app. And I'm just going to go to a random matchup. I'll choose your league. I'll choose your dynasty league all the way at the bottom. I'm not going to say the name of it because it's a bad name. Right here in the matchup, if you can see, can you see that? Can you guys see that? Can you guys see where it says my name?
Yeah.
Rage Fist. Can you see the accuracy? Right there. Right there. Can you see that?
Oh, I mean, it's blurred out because it's green screen, but
yeah, I have an 83.3% accuracy rating with my start sits versus the other dude who has 83.9. That's just cool. That's all.
I'll have to go back and look.
It adds nothing to the show, but
I can't use my phone right now because if I did, you couldn't see me anymore. So
that's okay. That's okay. We'll power forward. So if you guys have seen that in the chat, please let us know. I think it's a cool option. Good on you, Sleeper, for doing something productive for once in your entire damn life. All right. What's up, Raphael? So we do have some matchups, some showdowns to go over. Before we get into that, I just want to remind you guys we are streaming over on the Fins Talk Sports Network as well as our own OUS FFPOD on YouTube. Make sure you switch over if you're watching on Twitter, Blue Sky, Instagram, anywhere. Just go to our YouTube page, hit that sub button. It takes you 5 seconds to do. It really helps out the show. It helps out us. It keeps us motivated to keep on keeping on. And once we reach 1,000 subs, I will shave my head and donate it to a child in need, which I won't pick that child. I don't think I can. Can I pick the child?
I don't think it works that way.
That'd be super cool though. Like, hey, Aang from that Avatar show, you need some hair? I got you. Got you. Anyway, so I will shave my head. Once we reach 1,000 subs by the end of the season, this has a deadline. All right. Justin, any news? Any notes?
I don't really have any news or notes other than, well, we talked about the Jets firing their general manager. It doesn't really matter right now. I can't really think of anything important. Was there any like injuries for tomorrow's game?
Not that I know.
Steelers Browns. So I mean, just looking at it here, Brandon Cooks is hopeful to be activated from the IR soon. Jake Ferguson is still up in the air for week 12 with his concussion. Najee Harris was a rest, but he logged full practice on Tuesday. David Njoku was limited on Tuesday with his knee. Elijah Moore was limited on Tuesday with his shoulder. A lot of these players that are injured that play Thursday Night Football usually are limited all throughout the week and they are go. So I'm not really concerned about any of them.
Well, all right. Well, I got your text, by the way, at 11:55. I'm responding to that.
Oh yeah.
My bad. No, guys, I'm such a slacker. I am. Blue Sky, and make sure you follow us on Blue Sky, by the way. I kind of want to like keep it where I don't follow anyone. So I'm just one of those hard flexors. Like, look at me, bro. My follower counts are so much higher than my following counts. But no, I'll follow everyone back over there.
Mine
Blue
are.
Sky. What do you mean?
Oh, wow. You only follow 79 accounts. Good for you.
Well, let me tell you guys something about Blue Sky. I have not downloaded the app. I have to actually go on a desktop or the Safari. So I'm treating Blue Sky like I treat MFL. No apps needed. You know why I can't download an app? Because Apple keeps on trying to tell me to add a debit card to my account, and I refuse to because I was hacked. So therefore, I can never download an app ever again. Awesome, Apple. Go fuck yourself. Sorry, Bobby. Into the showdown.
You can follow OUS at OUSFFPOD.com on Blue Sky.
But you can't download an
Cool
app
stuff.
unless you have a debit card on file. We don't have a transition. That was a So our first showdown of the day. I feel like you just put him in here because you just want to fight. I don't know. I don't know. Anthony Richardson.
Why is it that I want to fight?
Because it's two guys that one guy you're super against because you're just in love with Justin Fields, and one guy you just can't give up because he's your quarterback for your favorite football team, which you know he's bad.
That's not why I put these players in here.
But I don't understand. We'll talk about it. They're very close in rankings, right? I have not done my rankings yet, so I will do that tonight. Anthony Richardson versus Detroit, and then we have Russell Wilson versus Cleveland on a Thursday night. That does change things for me just a little bit because I don't like playing Thursday night players. So that, with that being said, I'll get right into it. Russell Wilson has been very, very good since getting that starting position at the quarterback position. He has revived George Pickens' career, his life, his everything this year. George Pickens has been amazing ever since Russell Wilson's been in the fold. Justin Fields was inept at quarterback, which we knew that going in, but he was a good fantasy quarterback, so it is what it is. Russell Wilson had a slam dunk matchup last week against Baltimore, who's given up the most passing yards to any player of all time ever. Not of all time, but this season. They're the worst. Their secondary is beyond bad. I believe Hamilton even got hurt in that game against Pittsburgh, and they still stunk it up. Russell Wilson only threw for 205 yards, 0 touchdowns, 1 interception, only scored you 7.3 points. That was a slam dunk week. We all streamed Russell Wilson if you were missing your quarterback one that week because of the situation. It was so great. I'm going to do it again. I'm going to start Russell Wilson again this week, and I'm going to start him over Anthony Richardson. Anthony Richardson is coming off his best game of the season, 28.1 against the Jets. It was awesome. It's cool, but can he do it again? He does average 59 yards on the ground per game. So that's equivalent to a touchdown or a little bit more than a touchdown if you play 4 points per touchdown still. AR5 has averaged 26.4th weekly finish, though, in his past 4 starts. So in the past 4 starts, he's averaging quarterback 26 in the week. That's really bad. Last week, of course, he was phenomenal. He was really good. He really helped your fantasy team. But are we going to get the AR5 from week 1 and last week? Or we're going to get the ones like the ones in the middle where it's just like, oh, he's completing 37% of his passes. Oh, he's scoring you 5.2 fantasy points. That's my concern, especially against Detroit. Not that Detroit's a banger, not that they're awesome or anything, but they're a very good football team, very well coached. Are they going to have something schemed up for Anthony Richardson? Are they going to be able to stop him? Detroit's only given up 14.8 points to the quarterbacks, which is amongst one of the best in the entire NFL. So that's another reason why I'm going Russell Wilson. I'll take my chances on Thursday night at Cleveland, a divisional matchup versus the guy who can't throw the ball. He can't throw it deep. I lie. He can throw it deep. He just can't throw it short. Like, it's impossible. It's so weird.
Famously better deep ball thrower than
Yeah.
short ball thrower.
Yeah,
so famously,
it's very
one of
weird.
the most accurate deep ball throwers in the league.
It doesn't make any sense, but he can't hit anyone within 5 yards. It makes no sense.
Yeah.
So Russell Wilson's my pick. Justin, I pass it to you. I talked a lot.
Yeah. Anthony Richardson is going up against the Lions, as you can all see and know, who give up the 6th least amount of points to the quarterback position, only 14.8 points per game. But they somehow give up the 8th most points to the wide receiver position, which is 30 points per game, which I don't understand how you can give up more points to the wide receivers, but less to the quarterback. I don't know. The thing that helps Anthony Richardson here, obviously, is his rushing upside. He ran in for 2 touchdowns last week, which does help him. He did get a passing touchdown. He was a lot more accurate, 20 for 30. We all talk about we need completion percentage to go up. Right at 66%, which is pretty solid around the league, 272 yards. Yes, this was by far his best game, probably of his career, other than maybe like the Rams game last year. Yeah, the Rams, he scored 1 more point. That was against the Jets, who are stinking it up. They just fired their general manager. They've fired their head coach, which was a defensive head coach. Aaron Rodgers is firing everybody. Your boy Aaron Rodgers is firing everybody in New York. I'm curious to see if Woody Johnson gets fired next. We'll see what happens there. But Woody Johnson says Aaron Rodgers isn't coming back next year, most likely. So anyways, to this point, Detroit is a very good team. They do score a lot of points, and we're going to talk about that here in the wide receiver position group, I believe. This is going to force the Colts to make plays down the field, deep balls, which does help him out. I haven't even talked about Russell Wilson. Yeah, he stunk it up against Baltimore, but now he has Cleveland. So it's like complete polar opposites. The Colts had a really weak an opponent. Now they're playing a really strong opponent. The Steelers had a really strong opponent. Now they're playing a really weak opponent. I don't even have to do a ton of notes on Russell Wilson other than he is just more consistent. The Browns do allow the 15th most points to the opposing quarterback. And even though he did not score a touchdown at all last week, they still got the W. I am going to lean towards Russell Wilson this week, who is ranked 15 over Anthony Richardson, 17. But I'm not going to hate you if you start either of these guys, but I will lean Russell Wilson.
Yeah, I don't hate that. We're going Russell Wilson together. I hate that we're together because I'm notorious. Anyone watching, I'm notoriously bad at this. I think I have a losing record at making my picks.
You were 2-2 last week.
Woo, let's go, baby. 2-2. That is a win. By the way, so for me.
So hey, I was 4-0 last week. So this is good news for you because I picked Russell Wilson.
Next. All right, we have the battle of the running back position. Chuba Hubbard of the NFC North or South, by the way. Chuba Hubbard versus the Kansas City Chiefs or Rachaad White at the New York Giants coming off a bye. I believe both of these players are coming off of bye. I do believe that Chuba Hubbard was off last week. Yes, he was. Okay, so perfect. So since week 7, by the way, Rachaad White has been the running back 7, averaging 19.1 fantasy points per game. That's since week 7. So Chuba Hubbard, he was off last week. So since in his last 4 games, he's averaged 16.3 points per game. Rachaad White's a little bit better, right? A little bit better. But you look at the matchups, you look at the situations, you understand why Rachaad White's a little bit better. He's just more involved in the passing game. He can't get games scripted out. There's no way that the Buccaneers are ever going to say, you know what? Even though they say they will, they say they're going to do a 3-headed monster. They say they lie, and they tell you Sean Tucker's going to get more involved, but they never do. It's always Rachaad White because he's better at pass pro. He's better in the passing game, and they know that. Sean Tucker is just break glass in case of emergency, which is completely idiotic. But here we are. Since Chuba Hubbard has been extended, he's been lights out. There's no doubt about it. But again, they're going against KC this week, the best team in the league. Don't give me this Bills nonsense. It's the regular season. Cool. You beat them all the time in the regular season. Congratulations. Where's your rings? You don't have any. Shocking. Finn's Talk Sports Network. Fins up. So we have Mr. Rachaad White, who's top 5 in receptions. He has 37. Quick question. You can just name one of them. Do you know any other running back that has more catches than Rachaad White this year? Just name one.
Breece
Hall. Right, 46. He's elite. What about, can you name any more?
Najee Harris.
No, Najee's off.
James Cook.
No, oh my goodness.
Saquon Barkley.
Oh, I was setting you up.
That's it.
Kamara's 155. Breece
okay, yeah.
2. Achan's 3, and then Bijan Robinson's 4. So Rachaad White's in some elite company right there. Those are all elite running backs. Rachaad White, for me, this is super easy. Casey also gives up the 32nd most points per game to a running back, 12.8. Easy. Rachaad White.
Yeah, the Giants give up the 15th most points to the running back position, which is not great compared to the Chiefs, who give up the least amount of points to the running back position. Mix that in with Jonathan Brooks coming back this week for his debut. Who knows how they actually manage Hubbard versus Brooks? This will be the first time we ever see that. Hubbard has been really good, not fumbling the ball. He's taking care of it. They extended him for a reason. And obviously Rachaad is in that backfield of a million people. Josh, you're going to hate this, but I think I have to go Rachaad White because I just don't trust Chuba Hubbard to get the game script this week. Not against the Chiefs. They're going to be playing from down, so they're going to have to pass the ball a lot more. Rachaad White, if the Buccaneers can get up on the Giants early and just get moving, is starting Tommy DeVito this week, so it's a different offense that they're going to go up against. I feel more confident in Rachaad's ability to catch it out of the backfield and just get hot early.
So Chuba played the Giants his last game because week 10, that's who their opponent was. And he had 6 targets, 4 catches. He had 28 total carries. He had 169 total yards and 1 touchdown. That's Chuba Hubbard against the Giants. Rachaad White's not going to do that, people, because he doesn't do that. He's not a great runner at all. He's actually a terrible runner. But he's always going to get the snap share ahead of Bucky Irvin. I think this is going to be a mix between Bucky and Rachaad White. And if they do get up early, I am curious to see if Bucky gets the majority of the workload because they'll be running the clock out. I understand that situation as well. So I am kind of worried that they do get a big lead and they don't need to pass it to Rachaad White. But then again, they're still down Chris Godwin. Yes, they're getting Mike Evans back, but we don't know how healthy Mike Evans is. So it is, it's not a slam dunk Rachaad White in the situation because let's be honest, if the Carolina Panthers are going to score a touchdown this week against the Chiefs, it's going to be on the running game. It's going to be on the ground. It's going to be a crazy, weird, pass interference in the end zone. They get the ball at the 1. Like that could happen, but 1 touchdown is not going to put him over the top of Rachaad White. So there is this isn't a slam dunk like we are talking about. This could go either way, but I'm just more confident in Rachaad White than I am against the Kansas City Chiefs and the Chuba Hubbard led Panthers. I never know if you're waiting for me to talk to do that or if you're just like, I can't find the button. I'm just going to pretend.
It's both. Sometimes it's both.
Yeah, I understand that. So we're going to the wide receiver position right here. We have Cedric Tillman. I don't like it. Versus Jameson Williams. Cedric Tillman's going against the Pittsburgh Steelers on Thursday Night Football. And then the Lions have the Colts. We have too much of the same game, but it's okay.
Yeah, I realized this this morning when I was making these. Like, oh, no, we just had their opposing quarterbacks. Now we have the wide receivers, so that's fun. But these guys are very close in the rankings this week, which is why they ended up on this list. They're right there in the 30s. I believe Tillman is sitting at 25 and 26 respectively. So that's why they've made this. They're just outside wide receiver 2 range, but can they get into wide receiver 2 range for you to actually start them in a starting spot? Tillman going up against the Steelers obviously is going to be a tough matchup. The Steelers allow the 25th most points to the wide receiver position, whereas the Colts allow the 14th most. Now I'm going to just keep talking. So obviously, Tillman had 3 really good weeks. They had a bye week. He cooled off against the Saints. The Saints, for some reason, did really, really well last week. So that's interesting. Jameson obviously missed a couple of weeks off of suspension. He came back, and then he put up 22.6 against the Jacksonville Jaguars, who is probably the worst team in the NFL. So is that a lot? Something to consider is that the Colts defense did not give up a lot to Aaron Rodgers last week. They did not give up a lot to Devontae Adams. They didn't give up a lot to Garrett Wilson last week. So that does play in their favor. They played against 2 elite wide receivers and only gave up 18 points to the 2 of them. They gave up most of their points to the ground game. I see the Colts-Lions game being more of a Gibbs-Montgomery game rather than a Amon-Ra, Jameson Williams game. I expect this to be on the ground more so than in the passing game. And if it's in the passing game, it's going to go to Amon-Ra St. Brown. I don't anticipate this being a really great matchup for Jameson Williams. And I'm going to lean towards Cedric Tillman here going against the Steelers on a Thursday night.
Man,
Are you taking Tillman also?
I don't want to match up with you. Tillman, to me, Tillman.
Talk yourself into Jameson then.
I might. Tillman's averaging, 10 targets a game since week 7. Like, we always, on this show particular, I always will always pound the table for volume. Always. Volume. And then you're in a situation with Jameson Williams. He hasn't had 10 targets. He had 10 targets in the past 2 weeks, but he hasn't had 10 targets in a game since week 2, right? Against Tampa Bay. And that was a long, long time ago. Other than that, he's been getting targeted, I guess, 5 targets week 10. That's his most since the week 2 11 blow up. So that's just, to me, not enough opportunity. He had 6 targets last week, 4 catches, 1 touchdown, right? He blew up 22 points. That's great. That's what we want to see from Jameson Williams. I cannot talk myself into him, though. I just cannot do it. It's not fathomable. It's not even, I'll have to start him if I have to, if I don't have Cedric Tillman on my team. But that's the situation over here with Tillman. He's going on Thursday night, which I hate Thursday night players. I bench Thursday night players for 2 reasons. One, I don't watch the games because they're god-awful boring.
This one is boring. The last 2 weeks were really good. This one.
Yeah, listen, I'll miss some. I'll miss some bangers, but I'm okay missing the bangers if I miss the 8 other trash games. That's okay with me. I don't need to hear Kirk Herbstreit. That dude's a college guy. I don't need to hear him. Al Michaels is past his prime. Thursday night's a disaster. Like, Thursday night is a complete S show. It is, and it's unwatchable at some points. I would much rather be watching Pokemon on Netflix with my son than Thursday Night Football. And if I've been saying this for years, by the way, this isn't something new. I've been saying this since the introduction. Too much is too much. Less is more. Bringing the games back to Sunday. Thursday night's a freaking disaster. Nobody cares about Thursday night games, period. That being said, I'm going to go Cedric Tillman. I have to. The targets are there. Believe in Jameis. WWJ. Wait. What do you give me that look for?
I was going to say something else, but you were about to say WWJD.
Yeah, what would Jameis do? Throw it to Cedric Tillman because he does it every single damn week. Again, I'm not going against Tillman. I'm not going against Jameis.
Yeah, you look at the snap shares. Jameson Williams is the wide receiver 2 on the Lions, but he's not played 75% of the snaps since week 7. He was suspended 2 weeks, and he's 74-65. Cedric Tillman is technically the wide receiver 3 on the Browns, and he's getting 82, 90, 96, 96% snap shares. They game script more into the passing game because that's what they have with Jameis Winston. They don't run it with Nick Chubb as much, which honestly is really sad. And the Lions have a way better running game, and they just have a better offense. They're also not really on the field that much. If you really think about it, like last game against the Jaguars, they were on the field, 4, 5, 6 play drives and just scoring touchdowns left and right. So I don't anticipate it being that way. This is a Cedric Tillman show all day. You can look at the points last week, go, 22.6 last week or 7.6 last week. I'm going to go with that guy that scored 7.6.
Yeah, 1,000%. But cool. I found it. I'll do it. No, it's my last time doing it because it's too much for me.
Oh.
I don't know how you do all that. So props.
You got to figure it out on Tuesday next week. I won't be here.
Don't worry. I will figure it out. And you know what? We should plug that show. We have a special guest on Tuesdays.
Yeah.
Tuesdays will be just me and a special guest. Justin will be out of town. He'll be here Wednesday, I believe.
I will be here Wednesday and Friday, but I will not be here on Tuesday.
So the waiver show is going to be me and a special guest. Can we just announce who it is? Something.
Yeah. It's Drew DeLuca.
Drew DeLuca.
Fantasy Pros, and he's a top ranker. I wish I had him on the Friday show because he is a ranker, but he'll be here for the waiver wire showdown or the waiver wires.
So you guys can finally get some professional advice on picking up waivers. I cannot wait. I hope to learn some things.
Probably won't be in a suit like me, but maybe.
You know what? I might just suit it up. Someone's got to wear a suit on the show.
Oh God, don't scare him off.
All right, next showdown. What's up, Mateo? Next showdown, Dallas Goedert or Hunter Henry. Dallas Goedert's going against the LA Rams, which is still, I know it's 2024, but I still want to call them St. Louis. I know, but they're LA. Gosh, I'm that old. And then we have the New England Patriots against the Miami Dolphins. You always throw in one. I feel like we always do a Colt and a Dolphins matchup. I always feel like it because
Again, do you want me to tell you how I make these matchups? I literally go to the rankings. I look for if it's a QB or a tight end. I look around the 12 to 16 range, and if it's a running back or wide receiver, I look around the 23 to 30 range.
You know what I like about this too? We do it before we put out our own rankings, or at least I don't put my rankings out until after the show. So you can't see who I just have ranked like higher. I like to keep it a secret up until showtime. You don't know, guys, we don't know who each other's picking until it comes out of our mouths. So far we're three for three. We're matching up. So hopefully
it's
this
not great today.
Well, I mean, it might be great. It might be good. You know what?
Maybe it's just we're that clear cut on our decisions this week that we're helping you get into the playoffs, whereas usually it's like a lot of, I'm going to pick this guy and I'm going to pick this guy, and usually Justin's right.
You know, we can check the accuracy rankings on Sleeper in our leagues that we were in together. I'm pretty sure.
I've been tracking these all year.
Yeah, and you know what? I'm not so good this year. But don't worry, I'm bouncing back. There's a lot of game left. There's a lot. You know, what do we pick games for? We do this little pool. We're in an OUS pool where we pick games, just money line.
Mm-hmm.
Just what is the purpose of this? I don't need to be shamed every week because I'm in last place. This is ridiculous, Justin. Is there an end goal? Is there a game? Is there a prize? Are we doing this for anything? Just to make fun of me? Just to say, hey, Josh is last place.
It was mostly for content purposes, and Justin's just been way too busy to actually create content for it. So
no, that's definitely
keep doing it.
I like it. I like it. I love being in last place. It's great. Craig, the chat, he wants to ask a question. Since we did not get into the actual tight end.
let's answer his question, then we'll get in the tight end so I can cut this better. So Craig, hi guys. You think Mike Evans will be back?
Is that going straight to me? Do I have to answer this? All intents and purposes, I do live in the market, so I do have a little bit more insight. Yes, he's expected to be back. How much? Nobody knows. He's been known to be a decoy when he does come back. This is well documented in Mike Evans' career. If he can get on the field and jog, he will do that, and he will be a decoy. I'm not saying he will this week, but he is known to do that. That's something he does all the time, and it's infuriating. You start him if you play him. If you bench Mike Evans this week against the New York Giants, it might be a mistake. You start him if you play him. He will play this week. I am not guaranteeing it, but it's a 90% chance he plays.
Yeah, they haven't practiced this week, so we don't actually know what their practice schedule looks like yet in that terms, but he is listed as active. They don't have a percentage on whether or not he will play this week, but I would fully anticipate him being back this week. His injury was forever ago, I feel like. When did he get injured?
Yeah, but you know what, though? Mike Evans is always injured.
So.
He's always hurt, especially with a hamstring. That's a very common thing for him. It's just so infuriating to see him come back and him just jog down the field as a decoy. But at this point, they're making a playoff push. They don't have Chris Godwin. They don't have a wide receiver too. They don't. They tried it with McMillan, didn't work out. Trey Palmer's not a real thing. K-Dot was the only answer for Baker Mayfield. I don't think Mike Evans, I don't think the Buccaneers are going to risk putting him in too early, especially in this spot where they need to win games if he's not fully healthy. I expect Mike Evans to be a full go.
Yeah, and just thinking about it, this will be Mike Evans' first career season, or his first season that he doesn't pass 1,000 yards receiving if he doesn't get back and get 700 yards over the next 7 weeks. So 700 yards in 7 weeks.
Doable. He's a legend, Hall of Famer. Doable.
Yeah. Hopefully. I mean, without Chris Godwin, he should be able to put up 100 yards a week, right? Like that would be insane. Next question here. Is Njoku only starting player on the Browns because I have Elijah Moore, but he is hurt, and Michael Pittman Jr. is on the waiver? I might pick him up. Don't pick up Michael Pittman Jr. Cedric Tillman is also a viable player. We just talked about him actually. So if you need to go back a little bit, Cedric Tillman is going to ball out this week. So
don't say that. He's not going to ball out. He's
going to do better than Jameson Williams this week.
He'll do better than Jameson Williams this week. He's averaging 10.
I would avoid Michael Pittman on the waiver wire though.
I would too. Just a quick recap, Mateo. Cedric Tillman since week 7 is averaging 10 targets a game. He is the number 1 target there for Jameis. Yes, he does sprinkle in everyone else, but Jameis is a gunslinger. The Browns throw the ball more than anyone else in the league per game basis. So Cedric Tillman's a very fantasy asset over there.
Justin Herbert, Patrick Mahomes, or Bo Nix with their matchups. Now I got to go find their matchups here. The Patrick Mahomes plays the Bucks. No, they play the Panthers. They play the Panthers. Sorry. Yep. Bo Nix plays.
Bo knows, man.
Las Vegas, and Justin Herbert plays
a very good matchup.
Baltimore.
Yep, it's a very good matchup.
I would go Bo Nix.
Oh man, that's tough. The Baltimore Ravens give up the most passing yards per game. They do. They give up the booty. Is Hamilton going to be full healthy? Like, he's a big player. He's like their only good player there in the secondary. And Justin Herbert, for some reason, Quentin Johnson, he just gets lucky once in a while. Like, I don't understand it. Will Disley's picking up his game. I don't hate Herbert. He's been very efficient. They don't throw the ball a ton there, as we know. But Patrick Mahomes, to me, is off the table. Unless he is in a prime matchup. I do believe they're going to lean heavily on Kareem Hunt and Isaiah Pacheco returning this week, possibly, maybe, hopefully, right? Cross your fingers. So I do think they're going to rely more on the pass or rushing game over there. It's between Herbert and Bo Nix. Bo Nix has been on fire. Justin Herbert has a better matchup. Bo Nix, rushing upside.
So we both went Bo Nix.
It was the longest path ever to get to the same answer.
Pick 2 wideout. Pick 2 wideout and 2 flex, please. Full PPR. Sutton, Hopkins, Jennings, Harrison, Rachaad, Wash, Jacobs. So we're picking 4 players here. 2 of them have to be wideouts.
Pick 2 wideouts and 2 flex, please. Full PPR. Sutton, I'm just reading what you said.
So it's really who are we Sutton? Not picking out of these 4 players?
1, 2.
Which
3,
2 are we not
5,
picking out of these 6?
1, 2, 3. I'm still counting. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So 6. Okay. I don't want to be the guy that says bench Marvin Harrison, but you got to bench Marvin Harrison. I don't think he's in my lineup. I would take Rachaad White over Marvin Harrison at this point, just for usage, just because we went over Rachaad White and what he can do in that passing game for the Buccaneers. Josh Jacobs is almost every down starter this year. He's been so good. He's been above expectations. He's performed so well. I'm benching in this spot Marvin Harrison and Hopkins.
Hopkins. I thought you said Hawkins. I was like, who the hell is Hopkins?
Hawkinson, I would also bench. He's been a
that's fair. I don't hate it. Yeah. Last question. We got to do our tight ends. Just traded Dobbins and Tillman for AJ Brown to upgrade a wide receiver. Was this the right move? And then he gives us the roster: Burrow, Lamb, Brown, Monty, Walker, McBride, Pacheco, bench. Yeah. You upgraded. You still have Monty and Walker, so you didn't need Dobbins anyway. You got one of the best wide receivers in the league.
Yep,
with
huge
Brown,
upgrade.
So.
Huge upgrade.
All right, tight end.
All right, Dallas Goedert. I get to read you. Dallas Goedert at the LA Rams or Hunter Henry at the Miami Dolphins. We just did a lot of talking, and I need to recover. So, Justin, I'm going to pick the opposite no matter what, because I can't go 4-0 with you. So I'm letting you decide who you're picking, and I'm letting you decide who I'm picking.
Josh doesn't want to go 4-0 this week. He just wants to go 3-1, I guess. So yeah, the Rams give up the 6th most to the tight end, so that's something to think about. Whereas Miami gives up quite a bit, 15th most to quite a bit less, 15th most. So the Rams do give up a lot more points at the tight end position, which is a good matchup for Dallas Goedert. Goedert has scored double-digit points since coming back from injury, which is good. Hunter Henry is kind of hit or miss. He's hot and cold. He does get a ton of targets, though. That's the one thing. He does get a ton of targets on that offense, which is very, very good. Obviously, he hasn't got a touchdown since week 6, though, so that kind of is a bummer. I am gonna go gut check here. Dallas Goedert.
All right, perfect. Because I wanted Hunter Henry. I was really hoping you would go Dallas Goedert in this situation. There's just too many weapons over there in Philadelphia. And what that means to me is A.J. Brown's going to get prioritized more. Saquon Barkley's going to get prioritized more. even Devontae Smith's going to get more priority. Dallas Goedert's great, right? He's a really good stand-in tight end if you didn't go for the big guys like Kelsey and the other Dalton Kincaid and Sam Laportas who failed you miserably. Dallas Goedert's been better than those guys. So he's a very, very good stand-in. Like you didn't draft a tight end kind of guy. Hunter Henry's been better just because he's played more and he's more involved in that offense. He's got fourth most targets amongst all tight ends. Here's something you probably didn't know. He's got the second most slot snaps as a tight end. They don't have any weapons there. Drake May is a real player. Like he is. I said this yesterday as a joke on the show, but there's a possibility Drake May is the best quarterback in this draft. There's a possibility. I'm not saying it's true or not, but it's a possibility. And he's proven it. He can do massive things. This is a Drake May commentary, by the way. I believe in Drake May's targets over Jalen Hurts' targets. And Hunter Henry is his number one target there in New England. Yes, he's been hot and cold. Yes, he's been on and off, but they are playing the Miami Dolphins, who have also been completely miserable. Yes, you can rattle off like, oh, they're middle of the road against the tight ends. It doesn't matter. The Dolphins stink. Dolphins suck. I do expect the Patriots to give them trouble this week. I do expect Hunter Henry to be involved with that 21.4% target rate. Can you name a tight end that gets as many targets as Hunter Henry? You can't. You can only name 3. One of them is Dalton Kincaid probably, and he's trash. Hunter Henry comes down with the ball more often than not. He only has 1 touchdown on the year, and he's still fantasy relevant. That used to be the opposite for Hunter Henry. He used to get you 2 catches, 1 touchdown, and you're like, woohoo! This year, he's more of a reception guy, but he's lacking on the touchdowns because they don't score a lot of touchdowns there in New England. I'm going to go with my boy, Hunter Henry, 5th in receptions, 6th in receiving yards at the tight end position. You can't go wrong. At least he's consistent. 9.2 fantasy points per game. I will take that. I'll take my chances. And this will break the tie, and I will win this week. This will be my first ever win on the week.
Sure.
Hey, sound off in the chat, Mateo. I know you got my back. I know you think Hunter Henry is the guy. And then I'll answer your question after you say Josh is right.
Start 3, CMC, Jacobs, Brian Robinson Jr., Hubbard, Javonte Williams. And then he added us. Thank you for adding us, by the way. That's
And guys, if you're new to the show, if you're new to the comments, please hit that subscribe button on OUSFF Pod. It would really help out.
Josh is right. Mateo said Josh is right. He just wants you to answer his questions. So
that's all right. Start 3. CMC is an auto start.
Yeah.
Jacobs is an auto start. So it's really coming down to Brian Robinson, Chuba Hubbard, and Javonte Williams. So I'm gonna let you take that. I'm gonna let you take that one.
Who's Denver play again? Oakland.
Vegas.
All right, Las Vegas. Javonte Williams. I'm going. We talk about it every single week. The Raiders give up a ton to the opposing running back. In fact, they are 7th worst against the running back position. I'm going Javonte Williams here. We've talked about Hubbard having a tough matchup against the Chiefs, also with Jonathan Brooks coming back. Brian Robinson Jr. is good. Yes, he is. But he's also getting phased back into the offense after being injured. Eckler is a good pass-catching running back. They don't usually play at the same time. Eckler's going to be in there when they're down. I don't even know who the Commanders play this week, but I'm still a little bit concerned about Brian Robinson Jr. So CMC, Jacobs, and Javonte Williams for me.
All right, and Trey has his last question in the chat. Will Dissly, are you dropping Will Dissly for Hunter Henry?
Yeah.
Yes,
yeah.
But it's a lot harder than you think. He's playing Baltimore. It's very difficult for me to say yes just automatically because Hunter Henry can have his down weeks as well. Hunter Henry is not an auto start. He's not. So we were just talking about Hunter Henry versus the other guy we were talking about. Will Dissly is a guy who I actually do have confidence in, but I'm worried if the target share is going to be there. He scored a touchdown last week, which got you 18 points, which is great. But look at the weeks previously, 8 points, 2.9, 9.1. He's just not very consistent. He's not a guy who's going to be targeted first. They have other guys out there that they're going to target before Will Dissly. I like Dissly. I think Disley's a good keeper on your roster, stashing him. Maybe you could drop somebody else for Hunter Henry. I do like Dissly a lot. It's hard for me to say drop him for anybody, but in this situation, gosh, against Baltimore, Monday night, I'm a sucker for Monday night primetime games too. As if you watch the show, you know that because you always want that chance. Like you always want that shot. Will Dissly helped me beat Taysom Hill, by the way. So this is why it's very personal for me. I'm taking Henry in the situation if I had to choose.
Yeah, I would agree. I'm 4-7. I need this one. I'm starting Washington defense over the Eagles and 49ers. Oh, you have 3 defenses?
No, he probably can stream one, or maybe, I don't know. Listen, I don't know much about defense these days, Mateo. Pick the one that you think's going to get sacked the most. Who's watching? We need to figure out. That's if I play in a league with defenses. So they're playing Dallas. Washington is against Cooper Rush. I believe Washington over the Eagles are playing. We spoke about that earlier today. Why can I not think today? And the 49ers are playing.
They play the Eagles play the Rams. And the 49ers.
Yeah, I'm going to go Washington against Cooper Rush.
Yeah, I'm fine with that.
Washington. That's what I always do. If I play in it, just for all notices, I know I just said it. Defensive matchups, go against the worst quarterback.
Mm-hmm.
Kyle Pitts hella sucks, like Dissly. Hey, man, Kyle Pitts is the tight end 7 this year, in case you didn't know. He's on bye week this week, so you can't start him in your lineup, although you should because he's a top 12 tight end. Don't hate on Kyle Pitts unless you opt out. You know the rules. Is that it?
That's it.
All right. Well, that is it, guys. We are going to get out of here. That was your fantasy showdown. I'm going to go 4-0 this week. I'm going to finally do what I said I was going to do and beat Justin in one of these showdowns one of these days. I think my arguments are better than yours, by the way. I just think you get lucky. I'll say it.
Is it lucky or is it?
It's lucky. You know what?
A win's a win, man.
Do you want to be lucky? Then make sure you follow us everywhere. Blue Sky, X, OUSFFpod.com. We will be putting out our rankings later today on our website, so make sure you join that. If there's any comments in the chat, we'll try to get to them later, please. Or you can just DM us on Twitter or Blue Sky at Josh Kimmel OUS, at OUSFFpod, or at Justin Bowerly. We're out of here. Peace.
Thanks for listening. Be sure to like and subscribe wherever you watch or listen to podcasts. Follow on X and Instagram at OUSFFPOD. We'll be back next week for more ways to win your league.